Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Em and welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. So it's currently Thursday. Thursday is my Friday. I don't work on Fridays. I have taught my last class of the day and I just got home from the grocery store, and this weekend I'm going to be trying to catch up on my library holds because I've got a whole bunch of library books came in at once. I've had a bunch of Libby audiobooks come in and I need to start reading them or else I'm gonna miss it and then I'll have to put them on hold again. I have physical copies and audiobook copies of most of them because that's just how it is working best for my brain these days, to have both. And then that way I can listen to the audiobook or I can read or I can do both at the same time. Like, I just like having what I'm reading in multiple formats. It's just, yeah. I don't need to over-explain this. You get it. You get it. The one I think I'm going to be starting with, because I've had the audiobook for a while and I've just kind of been sitting on it and it's due soon, is the second book in the Thursday Murder Club, The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. I read the first one last month, right before the movie came out, and I gave it a 3.5. And so this one is going to kind of decide whether or not I continue on with the series. If I like this one more, I'll keep going. If I like it less or the same, then I'll just be done with this series and it just won't be for me. That's okay. But this is a cozy-ish murder mystery series with 4 main characters who live in this retirement community in Britain. So I think this is what I'm starting with. But then I also got the audiobook for One for My Enemy by Olivie Blake. I've never read an Olivie Blake, but this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I do love a Romeo and Juliet retelling, oddly enough. Chloe Gong, I've just totally forgotten what the title was, but this by Chloe Gong is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and it was one of my favorite things that I read last year, so I'm hoping that this will be the same. I think this is set in New York, though, in modern day Manhattan. Yeah, whereas Chloe Gong's is like 1925 Shanghai. Hopefully I love it. And then I also finally got the audiobook for Silverborn, which is the 4th book in the Morgan Crow series, or the Nevermore series. And I did start this the other day, but I started it while I was at swim lessons with my youngest. So I think it's safe to say my focus was not great. And it was hard to hear the audiobook because I brought the wrong pair of headphones. I didn't bring the noise canceling headphones. I brought like my little earbuds, and it was very hard to hear the audiobook, even with the volume turned up in the aquatic center. I did get to chapter 4 though, which is 20 pages. That's not great. And then last night when I was at the library, I saw this on the new shelf, and it's another by Paul Tremblay. This is his middle grade debut, and I've never read Paul Tremblay, but I really love middle grade horror, and I haven't really read any spooky books yet, and we're almost halfway through October, so I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. If we're to this, like if I'm halfway through the month and I haven't been reading spooky, I just haven't been in the mood for it. I don't know. I'm really going through it. This month. I mean, not that bad compared to some, but not great for me. So yeah, I think this is supposed to be creepy, and maybe I'll like Paul Tremblay's writing and then I can read more of him. Oh my gosh, the font is enormous. Like compared to Morgan, like, can you see how big of a difference that is? That's huge. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So anyways, yeah. So those are kind of the reading plans. I don't anticipate finishing everything this weekend. I will consider it a successful weekend if I read 2 books, finish 2 books. That could be a good time. My kids have tomorrow off as well, so we have some fun plans. And for today, I need to eat lunch, which is in the microwave. But I thought I should talk to you before I start to eat, because otherwise I might procrastinate my way through not filming an intro. So I need to eat. I think I'm going to shower. I've already been to the gym, and then just get on with my day. I have more books on hold at the library. I just got a notification. So I might go pick up those. I have a coloring book that I pre-ordered at my indie bookstore that's there waiting for me to pick it up. A couple weeks ago when I was vlogging, we went into a store that's on the same street as the bookstore, and they had this gray mug that I have not been able to stop thinking about since that weekend, and so I think I might go into that store and get that mug as well, but I only have 2-ish hours before I need to pick up my youngest from school, so I need to move on. I need to go. Enough yapping. So yeah, welcome to the vlog. Let's fingers crossed that this weekend heals me. Okay, I don't know why it took me an hour to eat lunch and shower and get ready. Feels like a long time, but I am dressed. We have an hour before I have to pick up my youngest, so I'm gonna go definitely to the library, definitely to the bookstore, definitely to the home goods store. I might stop at the local plant store, depending on how long that takes, to get like a bouquet of flowers or something, because I've been wanting them for a long time. But I look like a person who owns more than workout clothes, which doesn't happen very often, but I want to show. I want to document. So I took out my contacts, just give my eyes a break. I'm wearing the sweatshirt from the bookstore that I work for. This was for the 20th anniversary a couple years ago that the owner had made. And then I'm wearing this skirt from Stitch Fix when I used to do Stitch Fix. I'll try to get a better shot of this in a second. I'm not sure if I love this combo. I love both of these items of clothing. I'm worried that together it's gonna make me look boxier than I am, but I'm trying not to care about that. And then I've got on these shoes from Little Booties from Old Navy that I never wear because why would I when I'm in workout clothes 75% of the time? Let's see if I can, lighting's not great, but see? It's cute, right? Yes, I have the hem folded up a couple of times so that it's, because normally it's like down to here. So I'm trying to make it a little bit shorter. So hopefully the lines are better, but I don't know. I've spent enough time focused on this. Let's go get my goodies. And we're going to stop and get coffee from the place that makes really strong coffee, which I wanted to go to this morning. But their line was so long and they're so slow. Like literally I had 15 minutes before I had to go be at work. There were 2 cars already in line and I couldn't do it because I knew I'd be late. They're so slow, but the coffee's so good. Okay, let's go. All right, we're home. The youngest is decompressing. Let's go over what I picked up on my errands today before my camera battery dies and I need to charge it. First of all, I did get the mug. It's not the most exciting mug, but I don't know. There's something about the color, the texture, the size. It just like all spoke to me of like the perfect mug. I love the like ribbing detail. It's a perfect size. It's nice and big. I just really love the shape of this. Like this is like I could have coffee in this. I could have tea in this. This is even sometimes I really like to eat soup out of a mug and like I feel like this is the perfect size to also have soup. And I don't know. I just saw it and I kept thinking about it. And then I think you saw in the B-roll they had like a goldeny yellow one as well. So it was hard to pick, but this is the one that caught my eye first, and I don't really have anything this color. And as I get into my old age, I'm not liking the, what do we even call them? The graphic mugs, like the mugs with writing and like cutesy sayings. I have so many of them because for a while they were like, they made me so happy, but I feel myself gravitating more now towards just plain mugs. I'm really excited. I'm excited to use it tomorrow for my coffee. And then, oh, I did go to, oh, my purse is still in here. I did go to the floral shop, but I didn't like any of their pre-made bouquets. They looked pretty picked over, and the ones that were left looked a little wilted, so I didn't get one, but they do carry tea that I really like, and I forget to go there and get tea, and I've recently kind of switched up my morning routine where I have a cup of herbal tea first, and then I have breakfast, and then I have coffee, and I really love apple flavored teas, And so I have one right now that's like apple pumpkin spice. I don't like it very much, but I've been making do. But they sent, I subscribe to this Floral Shop's newsletter, which is delightful because the owner writes it. And anyways, he is always shouting out the type of tea that they have in that newsletter. So I saw this tea in the newsletter and I think this sounds exactly what I want first thing in the morning. So I'm excited to have that tomorrow. And then I thought I'd pre-ordered a different coloring book, like a spooky one, but it's just a cozy one, which is totally fine. This will be fun to color. Hopefully I can do this tomorrow or sometime this weekend. I think this would be really fun to just like listen to the Thursday Murder Club book in color. And let me show you the pictures. They're really like encouraging little pictures in this one. So I think this will be a good one for the mood that I'm in. And then at the library, I picked up 2 books that I'm going to need for my next round of TBR on Holothon. I'll link the first video if you want to check it out and see what that is all about. And then my kids and I have been watching the Studio Ghibli movies in distribution order, and I picked up the one that we're on now. We are on, I put the library barcodes in like the worst spot. We're on The Wind Rises, which I haven't even heard of before, but it looks like it's about airplanes, and it's got a pretty good cast list. It looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Martin Short, Stanley Tucci, Mandy Patinkin, and William H. Macy. Wow, there's a lot of really famous people. We watched From Up on Poppy Hill a couple weeks ago, and we all really liked that one. Be interested to see where this one goes in our ranking that we've got right now. And then I don't usually pick it up, but I did grab the issue of Book Page that was out right now at the library. I need to like jumpstart my spooky reading, so I'm hoping there's some recommendations in here for books to read. And then the last thing to talk about, and then I'll actually go read, is my Sticky Club subscription arrived. So these are the stickies for October, and I get the vintage pack. So if you don't want to see any spoilers for Sticky Club, obviously skip ahead a little bit, but I'm really excited. I got my first one last month, and it's by far the cutest my reading journal has ever looked, decorated with these ones. Ooh, I love all the blues. Okay, so it came with these notepads. It's like a Post-it. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with these, but I think they're pretty. Oh, it's like a constellation sticker. That's really pretty. It's hard to see the details in it. Like I feel like the dots are what stands out, but that's really pretty. The theme for this month was shades of blue. What is this? Like a bookmark? Ooh, maybe a bookmark? Maybe something else, but I like it. I like the design. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. These are all so cute. I'm really loving having a Sticky Club subscription. I put it off for a while because it felt like kind of a frivolous thing to spend money on, but it's actually not that much money. It's only, I think, $12 a month. And I got so much joy setting up my reading journal last month and having all these really nice high quality stickers to use made by actual artists. Like they credit the artists in on the sticker sheet so you know who made the art you're using. And I feel like as AI gets more and more pervasive and more artists are being ripped off, I really appreciate a company that actively promotes indie artists. It just is really fun, and I'm glad that I'm spending money on this thing that can seem frivolous, but also like really gives me a lot of joy because that's in short supply these days. All right, well, that is my haul. I have to remind myself I only spent money on a few things. A good amount was from the library, and that was free. And because I work for the bookstore that I ordered the coloring book from, I get a discount. I get a staff discount. So all in all, not too shabby. So yeah, I'm gonna go finish up the book that I'm currently reading. That's for a different blog. So that can be done, and then tomorrow I can devote all of my attention to this one. So thanks for sitting and looking at all my goodies, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. I've made a little bit of progress in The Man Who Died Twice. I think I'm just over 100 pages in, which is like 30%, as I think what the audiobook said. And I'm liking it a lot more than I liked book one so far. I don't know if that's because I'm also listening to it on audio. I think the narrator, like, God, it does such a good job of like getting the vibe of the story, but I'm having a good time. We're starting, I don't think too much time has passed since the end of book one, and we kind of check in with everyone, see how they're doing. Elizabeth starts off by getting a letter under the door of her flat that's very mysterious, and somebody has come back into her life that she hasn't seen in a really long time and needs her help keeping them safe. And then, something happens to Ibrahim, and I got so upset. It was so sad. Ibrahim is really not having a good time. Oh, excuse you. In this book, and it makes me so sad because I think he's so sweet, like definitely one of the sweetest characters, and I really like him, and when something sad happens to him, I get sad. So I definitely feel way more invested in both the mysteries and the characters that I did in the first one. So I'm having a really good time, and I'm excited to pick it up. I love how short the chapters are. It feels so manageable with short chapters because I could just sit down and read one in like 5 minutes. Like I can read a book, I can read for 5 minutes, but when they're long and it's going to take me 30 to 45 minutes, especially with how much I hate stopping in the middle of a chapter, I just find short chaptered books so much more, not accessible, but I guess manageable. Like it's easy to figure out where to fit in reading a book with short chapters versus a book with long chapters. That's not the point of this though. So yeah, I just wanted to come in and let you know that I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it, and I'm really interested to see like how this mystery is going to turn out. We have two different ones going on right now. We have the one that involves Elizabeth, that person from her past, and then we have what happened to Ibrahim and solving that mystery. And then there's like another situation that, can I remember anybody's name? No, but the two police officers, they're investigating something else, and so I'm wondering which ones are going to connect. Like if Ibrahim and the one with the police officers is going to connect, I think it will, but then if that one will connect to Elizabeth's or if that's just its own thing. Because I feel like he bait switched me in book one so much, where I would form a theory of like, oh, it's this and this is going to happen, and then the next chapter would unravel that hypothesis that I had. So yeah, interested to see how twisty this one will get. But I'm gonna go and read for just a little bit more. My mom's on her way and we're gonna hang out with her for a little while. So I won't do a ton of reading, but she's read this whole series. So it's fun to read something that she's already read, so then we can talk about it. Good morning. It's early the next day. Well, not early. It's almost 9:30. Feels early. I finished The Man Who Died Twice this morning. I really liked this. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I think I'll definitely be continuing on with the series. I felt like there were a lot more heart to the characters this time around. I really grew attached to Joyce and Ibrahim in this book. I like Ron and Elizabeth, but I think my emotional investment is really with Ibrahim and Joyce. I just love how soft and gentle Ibrahim is, and I really like how clever Joyce was in this book, and that she got the opportunity to be clever, because it felt like in the first book she was kind of silly and considered a silly person, and I like that. We got to see her be really clever. I like that we got to see all these different relationship dynamics, and those were really lovely. And I'm finding I also really love the smaller characters. Like I really like Bogdan, who's a carryover from the first one. I really like Donna and Chris's dynamic with each other, and I think it's really lovely. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going. Now, I'm not excited for book 4 because that's the one that's like emotionally devastated everybody last year, but I'm excited to move on to the next book. And so now I was looking at what I have from Libby, and I also really want to go to the gym. So I was looking for what I wanted to start listening to, And I didn't talk about this one at the beginning, but I have the audiobook for Running Out of Time by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And this is for the Betty Pages Challenge Yourself Reading Challenge for, is it this month or last month? And I think it's, I don't even know what age category it is. I want to say it's YA, but maybe it's even middle grade. And I think it's like a survivalist story, but it's only 5 hours. So I feel like I could get this listened to pretty quickly this morning. So I think I'm going to do that and go walk to the gym, work out, come home. We're doing something later this afternoon, but I have several hours before then, so I'm hoping I can get a decent chunk of reading done and a good combo of like working out, doing something I need to do for myself, and then also relaxing, which is another thing I really want to do for myself. I really want to restart our Animal Crossing island. Because when we first started playing the game, we didn't realize how it worked. And so my middle kid is in charge of running everything, and I want to restart it so that I can be in charge, because like my kids all play various video games. I only play Animal Crossing. And so I think it makes more sense to have me be the island representative than to have my middle kid be the island representative. So I kind of want to restart the island today and play for a little bit. And I don't like have the itch to play video games very often, so I kind of want to like lean into it while I'm feeling it. But anyways, let's go to the gym, get some movement in, and then come home and chill. Okay, I'm home from the gym and I've showered and I've done some chores and I'm waiting for my lunch to heat up, so I have some reading updates. I did start Running Out of Time at the gym and I am a little over halfway through, and I was not prepared for the twist in this book. So our main character is Jessie, and she lives in this village in 18 something. Her mom is a midwife, her dad is a local blacksmith, and children are starting to get sick, and diphtheria is slowly spreading throughout her village, and her mom is getting really worried about whether or not these kids are going to be okay. And then she tells Jessie a secret, and I was not prepared for the secret. And so now it's like a thriller, and it's pretty fast paced, and Jessie is on a mission to get these kids help before it's too late. But the twist, like, I was not ready, and it happens really early on, so I can't even tell you what it is because the twist sets up the whole story. Like, that's our inciting incident, but like the twist is really the plot for the rest of the book. I was not prepared. It's not prepared, so it's very interesting. And it's definitely middle grade. Jessie's 13. I cannot wait to see how this ends. And then I did just start the Paul Tremblay book, Another, and I'm only 26 pages in. And this is set in, I think, 2020. Yeah, the fall of 2020 or the spring of 2021. And our main character is Casey. And Casey is a pretty lonely kid. There was, it sounds like he has Tourette's or something like that, where he has facial tics, and he's been bullied at school for it because of it. And with like online school, like somebody recorded the video of him having facial tics, and they made a really hurtful video about it and posted it online. So Casey's friends have all kind of drifted away from him because of it, and he's pretty lonely. And then all of a sudden this man shows up at their house with this like boy made of clay and is like, "Okay, I'm gonna leave him here for like a week, have fun." And Casey's parents are just okay with it, which is as far as I've gotten, and that's like what's on the synopsis. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know that I really want to read a pandemic book, like the pandemic stuff in the beginning, talking about online learning and like wearing masks and all that stuff. It just stressed me out so much that I don't know if I'm going to keep going with it. I think I will commit to reading a couple more chapters, but I don't know if this is going to be the book for me. Just don't know if I'm into it, which would be fine. I have so much to read that if that's not a good fit, I'm not going to be upset about it. So yeah, those are the updates so far. I'm going to eat lunch and I have like another hour before I need to leave the house. So I'm going to try to read a little bit more, but I might cave and watch something instead. And it's still super gloomy outside, so it's a great like stay home and relax kind of day, as she says, as she's about to leave the house. If we hadn't made these plans a week ago, I would just stay home, but we did. So I will leave my house, but I won't be entirely enthusiastic about it. Okay friends, I have an update for you. I finished Running Out of Time. I'm giving it 3.75. So this ended up being, I guess, a middle grade thriller is what it is, but I can't tell you too much because the twist happens so early and so much of the plot is about the twist. I think I told you all this already, but I had a really fun time with it. It was very exciting, very fast paced. It's a 3.75 because obviously since it's middle grade, it's a little simplistic and Jessie isn't being given the same information that an adult would give another adult, and so she doesn't have all the answers, and because of the way she was raised and the things she'd been taught, she just doesn't have a lot of real world know-how going into her situation, and so she felt pretty simple for a 13-year-old, and I don't know if I totally bought the reasons why. But that's okay. It was written in the 90s, so it has aged a little bit. There was also some fat-phobic remarks multiple times, so I marked it down for that a little bit too, because it was just unnecessary every single time. Glad I read it. Definitely had never heard of it before. I kind of tempted to give it to my teenagers and see what they think of it, because they haven't read it either. But speaking of, I don't think you could hear that. My teenager is being loud. And then, oh, let's talk about One for My Enemy. I'm 100 pages in, so I'm not going to finish it in this vlog or this weekend. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking, starting like a 500-page book for a weekend and thinking I could finish it, but I started it. It's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and I am living for this. I was talking to my husband earlier today about how I don't understand why fairy tale retellings are so hit or miss, mostly miss for me, but I am a sucker for Romeo and Juliet retelling. Really any Shakespearean retelling, but Romeo and Juliet, it just hits. It just hits. I don't know why. But this is set in modern day Manhattan, and we're following two families, the Antonovas and the Fedorovs. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And these are two families. There is magic in this present day Manhattan, and so they're both witches and they both have competing businesses, a rivalry like you need to have for a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And I was really nervous when I started it because there was this character list at the beginning and it was so long, and because they're Russian, everybody has multiple names, like multiple nicknames, and I got so nervous that I was going to be confused and it was going to be really clunky and it wasn't going to make sense, but it has not been. The writing is delightful. I love the characters. We are following this family, but our main characters are Lev and Sasha, and they are the youngest of these two families and haven't really ever interacted before, even though there's this long-standing feud with this family. But they meet by chance, and then, is this in the synopsis? Not really, but I don't think this is a spoiler. So they meet by chance and have an instant connection, and then afterwards Lev finds out who Sasha is, and his brother kind of bullies him into seducing Sasha so that they can get revenge. And I'm not to that part yet. I mean, I've gotten to that part where Lev's brother has convinced him to keep seeing Sasha, even though he now knows that Sasha is an Antonova. But their banter, they've been texting, and their banter in the texting is so good. Like, Lev has won me over heart and soul. I love him so much. I love his character so much, even though he's arguably doing something that's like really deplorable. Oh, just, he's delightful, and I really feel for him because he just wants to make his brothers and his dad happy, and that's impossible, but he doesn't know that yet. But there was this scene where Sasha's family owns like a high-end skincare, it's like super high-end skincare company, and Sasha's working the shop, and Lev comes in to visit her, and they've kissed once already, and he's really kind of teasing her, and she's resisting so hard. She's being such a grump, but I love every minute of her being a grump. She finally gets frustrated and she's like, okay, just kiss me. And his response was so good. And because he goes, well, that's all well and good, but if I kiss you now, Sasha, that's a short story. That's what? A kiss, sure. And then, I don't know, maybe I go down on you behind that counter, he mused, feeling her grip on him tighten as he gestured over his shoulder. Or maybe we have sex in a storage room or a supply closet or something, and then I go home and, okay, so in the moment it's great, it's fun, it's exciting, and sure, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to, but that's not the start of something big, is it? Nothing significant ever starts like that. Ah! Oh! Then he says, I'm not here for a one-night stand, Sasha. The story we're writing, it has chapters, installments. I don't want once. Okay, hi, yeah, great, love it. Olivie Blake. This book is going to destroy me. I'm fairly confident it is going to destroy me. But I'm going to keep reading, and it's going to be great. I will, I think, keep going, and I'll wrap up this vlog tomorrow. I'll see if I can get a little bit farther. We also have a manga out from the library I have a manga out from the library that I would like to read tonight, which I might do or read it tomorrow morning. But otherwise, either way. No matter what, I will outro this vlog tomorrow so I can give you a final update on where I am with this, and hopefully also give you a review for the Apothecary Diaries, which is the manga I want to read. But so sorry I won't be able to finish this and give you final thoughts, but oh my god, it's so good! Alright friends, it is Monday, so it's time for me to give you a final reading wrap up and to close out this vlog. I did read the Apothecary Diaries last night. I found out about this manga series from Elliot Brooks, and this was kind of recommended, like if you like Witch Hat Atelier, I think was the rec. And this is about Mao Mao, who works as a servant in the inner palace for this king. And she was training to be an apothecary in her village before she was kidnapped and sold to the palace to be a servant. And she ends up becoming a food taster for one of the emperor's concubines, and then like enters into like this murder mystery, or maybe just solving mystery dynamic with this man named Jinshi, who is also a person in the palace. And it was fine. I gave it 3.5 stars. I'm not sold on this series yet. I've heard that the manga is based on the light novels, and I don't think the light novels are easily attainable, but the manga is. So yeah, it was cute. I might read more. I think my twins are definitely down to read more because they read it before me. So we'll see. We'll keep getting them from the library, and if they like further installments, maybe I'll pick those up as well. And then I'm officially halfway through One for My Enemy. Absolutely loving it. disastrous things were happening when I was reading last night and this morning. I'm absolutely gutted for several characters already, even halfway through. It's not a good time for anybody, but I'm loving it so much. So unless like the second half goes totally sideways, I can see this being at least a 4.5, if not a 5-star read. And I'm so excited. I love it so much. Yay. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this weekend of reading. I feel like this weekend was such a blur. I don't even remember what happened or what I read. What did I even read this weekend? Library books, obviously. Oh, okay. So I read The Man Who Died Twice, Running Out of Time, The Apothecary Diaries, One for My Enemy, and then I DNF'd another. Cool. That's what we did. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to leave an emoji to let me know you made it to the end of this video, let's do a rose for One for My Enemy. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye.